looking forward to, for many, many months. I mean, this match, has been, in the making since Edge's injury. But the fact is that, like you say, Undertaker and Shawn really has to go on last.
Yeah.
And even if this is Shawn's last match, I mean, especially so.
Yeah, it's amazing. Actually, is something I didn't bring up with Adam, which I think is an important note to make, is that if this show had to be sold based on its title matches, it would be a very pedestrian-looking show. And they can only do Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker with these steps one time. They can only bring Bret Hart back for one more match one time. So I don't know, next year if they're going to be really falling off a cliff and desperate for celebrities, because if you take those kind of once-off elements that sort of fell into their lap out of this show, otherwise it's relatively straightforward. It's not really a super show otherwise, but it does have those elements. So let's jump into the matches here. Starting with the Money in the Bank, we got 10 guys in the match. Let's get to the quick and dirty here, Stevie. Who do you see going over?
I'm going to say Drew McIntyre.
Very good. That's my pick. That was, I think that's Adam's pick. We'll see about Darren in a few minutes here. But I can't see anybody else. And, the point you just made a minute ago is that the Money in the Bank match is that you don't really need to build it up. I actually feel it's funny because you don't need to build it up and you just go in thinking, hey, it's 10 guys going to do a bunch of high spots. But wouldn't it be so much more effective if, A, we had guys in this match who we believed could win, like, Dolph Ziggler, seriously, MVP, Shelton Benjamin. Not only guys who we believed could win, but also if they spent weeks cutting promos and doing packages about their careers and how this match would make their career to make it feel way more important. I feel this match could sell a ton of tickets and it's not in a position to do so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Money in the Bank, more to do with the fact that, to me, the briefcase always feels like another title, even though it's not. You've always got that element of great TV, admittedly, where you think, well, when's he going to cash this thing in? And obviously the rumours flying that it might be at WrestleMania this year, but I'm not a big fan of that. But yeah, absolutely, you've got this sort of Royal Rumble element where sometimes they'll promote a Royal Rumble event and they'll only suggest like one or two guys have a possibility of winning the match, where it's way more interesting if you think, this guy could win or this guy could win, and you've got multiple factors to take into account there. I don't really feel that this year. But absolutely, if it was built up and you could think that 3 or 4 guys have a possibility of winning, and Drew's not a definite. I mean, I will say that I don't think he's a definite, but at this point, it looks like he's winning it.
Yeah, and I'll say that I feel the opposite way about Money in the Bank, because I think it's great to have a match on the show which is already looking forward to past WrestleMania, because there's always that lull after WrestleMania about, we've done all our big stuff, we've blown off all our big feuds. They normally, this year, they're not using the name Backlash, but usually the following pay-per-view is just a bunch of rematches and retreading. And so I really like the Money in the Bank concept as a WrestleMania concept, and this might be the last year of it, because I feel that it's a great match to have on there to say, hey, there's life after WrestleMania, and whoever wins, you can tune in on Raw at least and go, okay, where are they going with this guy? Which is something. Moving forward, we have Show Miz versus R-Truth and John Morrison.
Not much to say about this one. Show Miz, I guess it works, a good move for the Big Show at this point.
Yes.
I see them returning, if you're asking me for a prediction, but I don't know how this match will go. It could go either way, but really it's kind of just a TV match. It's just an undercard match.
Yeah, really. It's just an excuse to get Miz and Big Show on the show, really.
Yeah.
We have the girls' match. I don't know who's in it, and we don't care. It'll be a smoke break. Moving on to Rey Mysterio versus CM Punk. And if CM Punk wins, then Rey Mysterio has to join the Straight Edge Society.
Yeah, I mean, another match that I feel's been well built up. I mean, I haven't seen much of the television this week, but I heard that there's not much going on between these two, and it might be a good thing at this stage. I guess they've done all they can to sort of build this match up, but it's an intriguing storyline, and I don't know if Ray joins the group, but I really don't know what to think about this one. I guess the only thing that could happen would be CM Punk to win, but
yeah, that's the only way to keep the feud going.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you know that the stuff they've been doing on TV. Did you see the angle with Ray's 9-year-old daughter from a couple of weeks ago?
I did.
Oh, wasn't that just amazing? Isn't CM Punk just amazing on the mic?
His promos have been phenomenal, and it was such a shame that they took the belt off him so quickly.
It really is.
I mean, that character, that group is so over, and CM Punk, yeah, that's a great thing to be. But again, the only problem I've got with this match is the stipulation, in the sense of, you know, you have no other way to go. It's either, you know, Punk wins and Ray joins the group. If Ray wins, there's no stipulation there. Am I right there?
Yeah. If Ray wins, it's just the end. My guess, you know, and I haven't said this before, but just as you say it there, my guess is that Ray's forced to join the group, and to get out of it, Punk says, "Okay, I'll let you out. You get to wrestle me. If you win, then you're out. But if I win, I take your mask." I think that might be a way to go with it, because I did the mask thing with Jericho and it worked really well.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you know, there's no backlash this year, but I would imagine there'll be something on the next pay-per-view where this feud will continue. This is,
I think,
you know, definitely not the blow-off.
In fact, I think it's Extreme Rules next, so that would make sense as a logical progression, because on TV, Rey Mysterio wants it to be a street fight, so that's logical. They hold it off until the next pay-per-view, which is Extreme Rules. So there you go. I think you just booked it, Stevie. We got.
We're still talking about the WWE here. Is this the same promotion that it was 6 months ago? Because this is way too consistent lately.
I know it's bizarre, isn't it, that they start talking about Michaels and Undertaker in December, and they start talking about Bret Hart and Vince in January, and they start building up Edge and Jericho months ago, and here we are, and those matches are actually on the card. I mean, and it's so effective. You know, it's bizarre. Oh well, somebody switch Vince to decaf, I guess. I don't know. We got Randy Orton, Ted DiBiase, and Cody Rhodes in a triple threat match.
Yeah, a bit unsure about this one in terms of match quality, and I really don't know where they're going to go with this, because I guess you know, Ted DiBiase was. I thought that he was going to be, you know, the face in this whole feud, but I'm not so sure now, and I don't know if he's you know, progressed as well.
No.
As you know, we might have thought this time last year. I mean, I don't know where Ted DiBiase could be towards the end of the year, but I don't see him getting out of the out of the mid card. Really, I can't see him main eventing in a year's time. So I guess, you know, Randy Orton has to win this, or, you know, this feud continues.
Yeah.
Again, it's one of them matches. I don't know if this will be a blow-off.
Yeah, the problem really is, I think they'll splinter off after this into Cody versus Ted. I think that's a logical way to go, because they've been doing it to death on television. And the thing with Ted is twofold, is that on one hand, he doesn't have a lot of charisma, he can't talk very well, and on the other hand, they've done nothing to protect Ted and Cody, so nobody cares about them. And so Randy Orton, whether they want them to or not, has come out of this feud as the de facto babyface, simply because he's the only guy with any credibility. So he's who the crowd is cheering for, which is, you know, this program really has petered out, and it's a real shame, because they could have gone so much further. They had some great moments in the middle, you know, with Dusty Rhodes, that angle, and bits and pieces, but they just never saw it home, and they never thought to the future, which is a shame.
Well, they had the great angle as well last year with his father, with the $1 Million Man. I thought that was great.
That was very good too.
I can't remember exactly what happened on that Raw, but when he was in charge that one week, and he wouldn't give Cody the same opportunities as his son.
Yeah, he put
he was Dusty Rhodes' son. I thought that was great, and they could have went down that route. And who knows? There still might, but you're absolutely right. I mean, Cody Rhodes is the one that loses, and Ted DiBiase is the one that wins. But I don't know.
Yeah. Or maybe Cody will steal, you know, Randy could beat either, but I'd say probably Cody, yeah. We got Bret Hart versus Vince McMahon in a street fight.
Wow, and I was so happy that I was right about this. I remember Adam saying on the Wrestling Dungeon, he said, I don't like the way this storyline's going now, when they did the broken leg angle, and I said, I've got a feeling about this, I think this is a trick. And it was the way they went, and I thought the angle last week on Raw was absolutely tremendous, when they had Steve Austin with the contract signing, and the camera scrolled away, and you see Steve Austin, you know, telling Vince McMahon to turn around, and then the camera panned back, and then there was the pot on the table, and Bret was giving him that smug look. And he always had a problem with the leg, Bret Hart, but you know, whatever this match is like,